Hey guys, I'm a Forester here. Now I've bought several knives this year, but there was only one knife that I had to buy in 2016, and that was Spyderco's Sage 5. Yeah, I had to have it for three reasons. First of all, the Sage knives are just great EDC knives. They're a great size and shape just for any kind of cutting task that you might have. Second of all, I'm collecting all the Sage knives, and this is actually the sixth one in the series. And third, this is the first knife that I've owned with this compression lock. Now, many of you have experience with the compression lock on the Paramilitary 2, but that isn't in my collection yet. So there are many things about this knife that are just like all the other Sages. Let's start with the blade. The blade is a full flat ground, and it's made of S30V. It's made in Taiwan, it's stamped right there on the blade. Now this blade comes with a working edge. I've been carrying this knife for a couple of weeks. I haven't touched up the blade at all, but let's just see how it cuts. I would say that's probably better than just a working edge. Now the handle material is made of a thin layer of carbon fiber over a G10 handle scale. And I'll try to give you a good close-up shot of that. Spyderco has actually used a different pattern of carbon fiber on each of three knives in this series. This is the pattern that they used on the Sage 1. And here's the pattern that they use on the Sage 3. And this one is actually my favorite. Some people don't like that glossy look, but I do like it. Here they are side by side, all three patterns. Like I say, the Sage 3 is my favorite. And actually, the Sage 5 pattern is my least favorite. It has a very dull finish, and there's some quality about it that makes it very difficult for my camera to focus on it. Let me try to focus, to give you a very close-up shot. I think they should use this stuff on the surface of the stealth bomber. It absorbs all light. You can't photograph it. Spyderco's clip is one of my favorite clips of all. My only suggestion here is that they could have used the clip on the Sage 1 that's blackened so that it blends in more with that stealth carbon fiber. Of course, the unique feature of the Sage 5 is this compression locking mechanism. Now, as you probably know, each of the Sage knives features a different locking mechanism. This compression lock was invented by the owner of Spyderco knives, Sal Glesser. It's comparable to the Walker liner lock, except that the compression lock operates from the top instead of the bottom. As a result, the presentation side of the knife is, well, more presentable. You don't see any of that locking hardware underneath. Now the other side's a different matter though, as the G10 handle scale has to be carved out to give access to the locking mechanism, and you clearly see the compression lock. Now ergonomically, I like the Sage 5 much better than the Sage 1 with the liner lock. And by the way, there's really only one way to hold a Sage knife in my opinion, and that's using this forward finger choil. I don't know why anybody would want to hold it in this three-fingered grip in the backward position. But there's no locking mechanism under here to get in the way. And the locking mechanism above falls within this void in my grip, if you can see that. So it doesn't get in the way at all. For that reason, I really like this compression lock. Now, operating the compression lock has taken some time for me to adjust to. I still reflexively reach underneath here for the liner lock that I'm more used to. But the compression lock does operate fine. The action was stiff out of box if you watched my first view video. And to be honest, it's still a little stiff, even though I've tried to break it in for 2 weeks. At this point, it doesn't fall free when I release it. It takes some effort, but it operates easily, I would say. I haven't loosened the pivot screw in hopes that it would break in soon. So there you have it, the Sage 5. the latest of the Sage offerings. I'm going to call this one my Stealth Sage. Y'all take care.